Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video via social media and with your friends via email. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. The next Great Depression may have already started here in the United States of America for millennials. I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Fortune and written by Alicia Adamczyk titled, "Millennials are so worried about their finances that they're falling into a depression." When I saw this story, I just had to share some of the information with you. It's pretty bad that millennials are falling into a depression because of their personal finances. According to the author, 54% of millennials say financial anxiety is making them depressed, compared with 47% of Gen Z and just 20% of boomers. This is according to Northwest Mutual's 2023 Planning in Progress study. This study revealed financial anxiety isn't just causing depression. Apparently, it is also keeping people up at night. 36% of Americans say their anxiety keeps them up at night at least once a month. The share reaches 44% for Gen Z and 53% for millennials. This is not a good situation for everyday Americans. From everything that I have ever read, lack of sleep has been associated with a variety of problems, including but not limited to hypertension, heart attacks, strokes, obesity, diabetes, depression, anxiety, and a weakened immune system. The author of this article goes on to indicate even relatively high-earning millennials report struggling. The percentage of workers who do not feel confident they will be able to retire with the lifestyle they want has more than doubled since 2021, according to BlackRock's 2023 Read on Retirement report, with young workers reporting the least confidence. Here are my thoughts. I'm not surprised that this high percentage of people don't think they will be able to retire with the lifestyle they want. Many are struggling with high rent and the high cost of food at the grocery store, higher insurance premiums, higher medical costs, and now some of these people have had to resume making their student loan payments. Some of these individuals are also struggling with credit card debt because life has gotten so expensive they need to resort to using a credit card to help out. Using a credit card as a crutch is never a good idea in my opinion, but it happens all the time. Now, many people are struggling with credit card debt on top of all of the other expenses in their life. There just isn't enough money left over each month to contribute to retirement in many cases. I realize some of these everyday Americans are doing their best to survive, but I am sure there are some individuals who could live further beneath their means, which could allow them to free up money that could be allocated toward retirement. The problem is some don't want to live beneath their means. A typical excuse that I hear all the time is you never know if you'll live to see tomorrow, so you need to enjoy each day. Now I get that, but what happens if you do live until old age and then you can't survive because you never set aside any money for retirement? I'm not talking about having enough money set aside for retirement where you can jet set all over the world. I am talking about just surviving during retirement. There are some people today that can't even survive because they weren't high earners during their career and they only receive a small amount of money from Social Security. The average monthly Social Security check in 2023 is only $1,827. Try finding an apartment for that much money in some large metropolitan areas. This is why there are a lot of seniors who are struggling. I think this may only get worse as time goes on. I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy life today, but you may want to consider foregoing some things in your life to set yourself up for more financial security later in life when you are no longer able to work. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. Always seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. Earlier in this video, I talked about how some everyday Americans are struggling with credit card debt. Well, I read an interesting article today published by the U.S. Government Accountability Office titled, "American Credit Card Debt Hits a New Record. What's Changed Post-Pandemic?" According to the article, over the summer, credit card usage in the U.S. reached a new milestone with balances totaling over $1 trillion. The article indicates that the vast majority of adults in the US, 82%, have at least one credit card in their wallets. Okay, wait a minute, don't many women have a purse and not a wallet? Well, I guess some of them probably have something to hold the cards in their purse. Maybe the author should have said purses and wallets. During the pandemic, late payments and default rates fell to historic lows. Well, this makes sense to me given all of the money that was given to everyday Americans, and a lot of them were staying at home as opposed to going out, blowing money at restaurants, bars, or the shopping mall. According to the author of this article, and I'll quote, "Now that the pandemic is over, we've returned to normalcy, which in addition to student loans and mortgage payments restarting, has also included the return of higher credit card use and potentially more cardholders slipping into debt." This is problematic from my perspective because more people slipping into debt is dangerous given the high levels of interest being charged by many credit card companies right now. This could be in the 20% range to as high as 30% for some retail cards. At those rates of interest, credit card debt can snowball out of control very quickly. I truly worry about some everyday Americans who are resorting to credit cards to maintain their standard of living right now. This is simply not sustainable in my opinion. People need to find ways to live beneath their means so they can free up money for an emergency fund, for retirement, and to invest in assets that provide a financial return so they can make money while they sleep. Otherwise, they will be stuck in the rat race their entire life, trading hours of their life for money at a job. Unfortunately, this is the reality for many everyday Americans. Many will continue to trade hours of their life for money at a job for the majority of their life until they reach an age where they can no longer work, and then a lot of them will rely solely on Social Security to sustain themselves. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I always love hearing from all of you. You know how I just talked about making money while you sleep? Warren Buffett is famous for saying that. I read an interesting article today about Warren Buffett. The article was on Yahoo Finance and put out by Bloomberg, written by Max Rise, entitled "Buffett's Cash Hits Record $157 billion Amid Scarce Deals." According to the author of the article, the hoard, which Berkshire has largely parked in short-term treasuries, hit its highest level since the third quarter of 2021, the Omaha, Nebraska-based firm said on Saturday. The author of this article goes on to say the company has still struggled to find many of the big-ticket deals that galvanized Buffett's renown, leaving him with more cash than he and his investing deputies could quickly deploy. I wonder if it's really that, or if it's him being fearful when others are greedy, so that he can be greedy when others are fearful, if we experience some type of economic turmoil in the future. Remember, Warren Buffett picked up some bargains during the 2008 Great Financial Crisis. So, is he struggling to find good deals right now, or is he positioning himself to capitalize on future opportunities at bargain basement prices that may come to fruition at some point in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding what you think is really up over there at Berkshire Hathaway right now. For any of you wondering what's going on in real estate, I read an article on Yahoo Finance written by Rebecca Chen titled "Home Prices Hit Another Record High in August." According to the author, the index tracking existing home prices in the 20 largest U.S. cities also gained 1.0% in August from July, exceeding the Bloomberg consensus estimate of 0.8%. The 20-city index rose 2.2% compared to last August. What's interesting is that this article references the NAR, that's the National Association of Realtors, Affordability Index, which dropped to 91.7 in August from 93.9 a month prior and 110.5 a year ago. That was the lowest point on records dating back to 1989. Did you hear what I just said? The lowest point on record dating back to 1989. So my question is, how long is this sustainable given many everyday Americans are getting squeezed by inflation everywhere they turn? Is this the calm before the storm? Only time will tell, in my opinion. I personally worry about all of the exuberance that we just experienced in the past few years in the real estate market. It just feels so reminiscent of the run-up to 2008. I know many financial experts say it's not like that at all because buyers were more qualified this time around, and many were not using exotic mortgage products. I think a lot is going to depend on what happens with the Federal Reserve, what happens with mortgage rates, and what happens with the stock market and the bond market. If we start to see problems, housing could eventually be impacted. If we ever see more than a correction in the stock market and experience a full-blown crash, this could result in companies laying off people, and all of those individuals who barely scraped together enough money to buy a home recently and have no emergency savings could be in trouble. This is when homes could hit the market because homeowners would be forced to sell them, even those who are currently locked into a low 3% mortgage. Depending on the sources that you look at, the percentage of Americans living paycheck to paycheck is somewhere in the vicinity of 55 to 65%. That is scary. These are the people who are likely one unexpected event away from losing everything, including their house that they may have overpaid for in the past year or two, which means they may have very little equity in it, and in some cases, no equity. Keep in mind, when you need to sell a house, you have to pay a real estate agent commission, in addition to closing costs, and the buyers may want some repairs made, and that costs money. Many buyers aren't waiving inspections anymore. Some people who bought recently may not be able to afford to sell their home for what it is worth. What happens to these types of people when they become unemployed? How are they going to make their mortgage payment if they can't find a way to sell their home for what they have in it? This is all purely speculation, but I'm trying to paint a picture for you to show you what could potentially happen in the future. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm sure some of you will say it's different this time. Housing prices are only going to keep going up, and the stock market will also keep going up forever. Some people believe we are going to see stock prices continue to climb because of the artificial intelligence revolution. I'm sure some of you are going to say that the Federal Reserve will simply ride in on their white horse and save the day again. I'm ready to hear your differing opinions regarding all of this, so share them in the comment section below. Please keep in mind, nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video via social media and with your friends via email. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.